What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Across the Board, sponsored by MoneyBall Metrics. Today's episode may look just a little bit different. Today, you have just myself, Alpha Dog Bets, here with Ben from We Beat the Spread. JD will be back on our next show. We will be back Wednesday after today. But Ben, great weekend, a ton of action. How did you do this weekend, and how are you?
Did great this weekend. I forgot to put my mic in front of me. We had lots of good NFL action. The Vikings are 5-0, so can't be too mad about that. And of course, UFC 307. That was a great card. We went 6-1 for our first card in the Moneyball Metrics Discord. If you're not in there, go over there. We just went 6-1 on our first card. We're going to keep putting UFC in there every week. But it was a great weekend. Can't complain.
Absolutely. And quickly to the comments, we have Nick in here. I believe Nick just got married, so congratulations, Nick. Welcome back. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. Ooh. We're all super pumped for Ben to be with us more permanent and on a lot more shows, giving a lot more picks and doing a lot more content. So, Ben, welcome to the team. We are super stoked to have you. Joe is here as well. Happy Monday, Joe. Happy Monday to you, my friend. You guys know the deal today. It's a short slate. We only have 3 games to break down, covering both MLB playoff games as well as the Monday Night Football game. So, Ben, you ready to do the thing, get into some baseball action?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, my friend. First game we're covering today is going to be the Tigers, who are taking on the Guardians. We all know the story in this game. There's only one reason that the Tigers are favored today at a -130, and that is because they are pitching their Cy Young candidate and potential and probable Cy Young winner in Tariq Skubal. Skubal is coming into this game with a perfect first start in the postseason. He's 1-0. He has not given up a run yet. His whip is at a 0.83. He went 6 scoreless with 6 Ks to only 1 walk. Ben, what do you like in this game?
You know, my initial read, and I definitely thought, especially just looking at Skubal starting, I was like, I'm going to be all over the Tigers here. I understand that it's a little bit square. He's a Cy Young winner. He had the most strikeouts, second lowest ERA. Like, he has all this stuff, and he looked amazing in his first start against the Astros. Didn't give up an earned run. He had a 1.5 ERA in September coming into the postseason. He's extremely hot. However, we got 2 lefties on the bump here today, and so I always look at the numbers. Cleveland's been doing good against lefties. I don't think they're going to hit off Skubal, though. They're 5th best in the last month against lefties. I don't think they're going to hit well off Skubal, though. They only faced each other once this season. Skubal went 7 innings, I believe it was, or 7 innings with only 1 earned run, but he gave up 10 hits. They got hits off him, and they couldn't bring anyone home. I have a feeling that they're not going to get nearly as many hits today. And the last time they got 10, only got 1 run. On the other side, though, the play that I am going to have to go to for this game, though, is actually going to be the under. I'm going to be playing under 5.5. It is a crazy line.
Whoa. Because you're stealing my play, I'm going to jump in here. I shouldn't have let you go first. But the line's even 6. We do have a flat 6 right now at a -110. So don't be giving this 5.5 BS. Okay, well, we got the 6.
When I went to go bet it, it was 5.5 at plus money. But yeah, if you get the 6, that would be great because this could end 4-2. Who knows? But with a total this low, it's almost just like it's scary to play it. But this feels like a 2-1 game. Like, it just has the feeling of that game. The Tigers couldn't hit in game 1. And yes, they're up against Matthew Boyd, but they've been horrible against lefties over the past month. They're hitting 197 against lefties, and we just saw their struggle. I'm not going to necessarily say that their hot run is over because it's just been 1 game, but to kind of have that momentum crushed in game 1 where they just got blown out, it almost does kind of feel like, how are they going to bounce back? And I just don't know if I see the bats going. So, yes, it's super scarily low, but the Guardians have a great bullpen. The Tigers' bullpen has been doing good, and these starters should be able to shut it out. So, maybe a 2-1 game here tonight. Who knows?
I see a very similar game script to you. And guys, if you followed the show throughout June when we started this, you would know that frequently, if I see a total in the 6 to 7 range, I hammer the over. It is not the regular season any longer. This is the postseason. You have to play the trends and the really strong pitchers and a lot of unders in the postseason. Skubal was perfect basically in his first outing. I know he gave up a couple hits, gave up a walk, but at the end of the day, he did not allow a single run. Then you take a look at how this Guardians team did in their opening postseason game. They pitched a shutout themselves, a 7-0 win. I think we're going to see a much lower scoring game here. I do lean the Guardians as well. I think this one does stay really low until the end. This could be a 0-0 game, a 1-0 game till we get to the 6th, 7th, 8th innings. And when we get to the late game, when they do take Skubal out, I do think the Guardians will be able to get a run or two off the bullpen. We all saw what happened in game one. The bullpen for the Tigers is not exactly a strong point, and in the ranks of all the postseason teams, they have one of the worst bullpens remaining in the postseason. So I do anticipate the Guardians to be able to get a run or two late, but I do think this stays comfortably under the 6. So give me the under at -110. Definitely my favorite play on this game. Also, guys, if anyone's having any trouble hearing us, just let us know in the comments. I see a couple comments here. Joe wasn't able to hear us, but I haven't heard that from anyone else. Ben, you're coming clear to me, so we're going to continue on. But if nobody could hear us, please let us know. We'll look into immediately what's going on.
I saw that comment, so I went on Twitter on it myself and I muted it and turned it up, and I heard it. So yeah, maybe try restarting your X or Twitter app or whatever
the hell they call it these days.
Yeah,
well, let's keep it moving. And Joe, you're here every single show. I know you're a big fan of the show, so just in case you aren't able to catch anything, you know you can rewind and rewatch anything that we go over. So, Ben, let's keep it moving right along to the second game we have on the slate. The only game people care about today, the New York Yankees, who are hosting the Kansas City Royals. Pitching for the Royals today is going to be Cole Ragans. He's another guy that had an absolutely flawless first outing. He's 1-0 in the postseason, did not give up a run in his game. He allowed 4 hits and did not allow a walk. He also had 8 Ks. So this guy, Cole Ragans, was the real deal in his first start, but he is a lefty going up against a team that can hit lefties pretty hard. The Yanks are pitching Carlos Rodon. This is his first postseason start with the Yankees. As a Yankee fan, Ben, I'm going to let you know I am a little nervous about this one. The price does feel about right at the -150. I do think the Yankees should be about a -150 at home, but this is an absolute must-win game for the Yankees. They cannot go back to Kansas City with the series tied 1-1 and lose home field advantage against one of the best home teams in baseball. We all know how the Royals were this season. They were, if not the best, the second best team at home at winning ball games. So I do think this is a must-win game for the Yankees. Do you take into account that the Royals were such a poor road team this season when taking a look at a game like this? Let's go over to you.
Yeah, I think you should. I think in any instance, you have to look at how a team performed on the road. And of course, it's different postseason, regular season, all that kind of stuff. But you look at a team that they were sitting around 500 on the road, and this is a team in the playoffs now. I mean, like, you have to be able to perform well on the road, especially in a place like Yankee Stadium, which we know can get rowdy. We know it can be a tough place to hit. Well,
absolutely.
The park isn't hard to hit in, but maybe the crowd and everything.
Correct.
To hit in. But you get my point there. And Carlos Rodon, to his credit, I think he's going to have a great outing. In fact, so much so that my play for this game has nothing to do with the side or the total. I'm taking a potentially controversial play. I'm taking Carlos Rodon to go over 5.5 strikeouts, sitting at +120 right now. And I understand people will be like, why would you take that? He's gone under in his last 3 games coming into the postseason and everything. And postseason leashes can be shorter. You know, if you start to struggle a little bit earlier, the leash might be a little bit shorter. Nope, I'm not buying into any of that because the Royals have absolutely sucked against left-handed pitching over the last month. They're coming in ice cold. In fact, so ice cold, they are dead last, 30th in baseball over the last month against left-handed pitching, hitting just 160 with a 27% strikeout rate. And then you look at their numbers against Rodon. They have 101 career at-bats against him, 32 strikeouts, over a 30% strikeout rate against Rodon. So they haven't really seen him that well. They've been whiffing a lot on his pitches. They've been ice cold against lefties heading into this game. And I understand their bats are really hot in game one. We ended at 11 runs total in the game. They looked pretty good. But, I mean, you just got to trust the numbers here. And the Royals just cannot hit lefties coming into the season. And it's not even like they've hit Rodon that well in recent memory because they got a 30% strikeout rate against him. So I'm going to just trust the numbers here. I love that we're getting plus money here. I think Rodon's going to go at least 6 innings. And assuming at that strikeout rate, he gets a K an inning, he'll be right around 6, maybe over that.
Well, I hope you're right. My play is definitely going to be the Yankees in this game. Carlos Rodon has been unbelievable at home. He's been awful on the road, going to be completely honest. But this guy's 9-2 at home with a 3.1 ERA. He's been a significantly better pitcher at home, and he's a lefty. I like that going up against the Royals lineup, like you said. Ragans, I'm not a huge believer in. He had a fantastic first outing against the Royals, against the Orioles, I apologize. But I think he will come back down to earth. I do think Aaron Judge also wakes up in this game. I am looking at a couple props for Judge. I just think he's too good to go 2 straight games blanking. This Yankee team proved a lot to me in game 1. The bulk of the runs that were scored against them were off Garrett Cole, and the other 2 runs that were allowed was because of an error by Anthony Volpe on an inning-ending double play ground ball. So the big question mark that everyone was talking about for this Yankees team was going to be the bullpen. They have not had a closer. How are they going to do? They figured it out. Luke Weaver pitched 2 innings, 4 outs, but was there with 2 innings. Yes, two-tone. I know I'm a Yankees fan giving out the Yankees. But if you watch this show frequently, I don't give out the Yankees often.
No, actually, you are a surprisingly pessimistic Yankees fan. So I don't buy into, or I wouldn't say you're just going with the home pick here, because you actually are a pretty pessimistic fan usually.
Yep, I think I'm a pretty spot-on fan when it comes to the Yankees. I've had huge doubts about this team all season long. I am a Yankee fan, but being a gambler first, and this is what I do full-time, I didn't even take the Yankees in Game 1. I came on this show the other day and told you guys that a minus 205 for a game that really could be a toss-up was crazy with Garrett Cole in the bump. But I do think that this Yankees team is significantly better than the Royals. The Royals are on the road. Bobby Witt struggled in Game 1 too. If Bobby Witt does not get going, this team has no chance. He needs to be the Bobby Witt of all season long for them to have a chance. I just don't see it. Give me the Yankees. They should be able to get it done tonight on the money line at a minus 150. Let's keep it moving, Ben. Last and final breakdown of the day, we are going to be doing the Saints against the Chiefs, a little Monday Night Football action. I know you probably have some props. You probably have a side. What do you like? What do you got?
I actually don't have any props yet.
Really?
Because my pick in this game is going, and the most confident thing for me, actually the props I think are a little tough because you have injuries on both sides. You have new players. You have Kareem Hunt now playing for the Chiefs. You had a great Game 1, but it's like, was that just kind of the first game with the team kind of explosion? Are they going to use Pete Ryan more tonight? I actually think the props are pretty tough tonight on both sides, because even then you look at the Saints side and you could say there's some good props there, but Kamara is not on the injury report, but maybe not 100%, kind of a weird thing there. He had a few injuries actually that he had coming into last week. He played last week. Same thing coming into this week. He'll play this week. I just think the props are actually tough. However, what I do not think is tough is the side. And I think it's the Saints plus 5.5 all the way. I really do. You just look at how these two teams have played, and I understand the Chiefs are 4-0, but when you look at that 4-0, it's a much different story than the score lines tell, because
absolutely
they have a decent game against the Chargers, sure, but they look like crap. So it's like, what does that really mean? And they only put up 17 points against that defense. I thought they would have scored at least 20 in that game. And then the Falcons game, they really struggled in, but somehow got the win again. I really thought that the Falcons were going to pull that out. Barely beat the Bengals, like really struggled against them. And we've seen what the Bengals defense and everything has done this year. I mean, to only put up 26 on that Bengals defense, that the Bengals defense right now is the worst in the NFL. I think it's worse than the Commanders, worse than everything. And yet still the Chiefs didn't break. Like, they got 26, but it felt like they should have been in the 30s. I mean, we just saw what the Ravens did to them. And then week 1, they do put up 27 against the Ravens, but the controversial toe tap, whatever, he was barely out of bounds, but they were that close to that game being tied up and losing. So you look at the trajectory of this Chiefs season so far, and it feels weird that they're sitting at 4-0, and they just still haven't looked like they've had it yet. So I really do think this is and the Saints having Kamara healthy is huge, because I think he's going to have a great game against this defense with probably a lot of screen passes. If I did take a prop, it would probably be Kamara receiving yards. But just having the healthier wide receiver room, like, the Saints wide receiver core right now is way better than the Chiefs. And Xavier Worthy's looked good, but just with Rice and Hollywood Brown, all those injuries, like, the Saints have the better offense. They do. They have the better offense in this game, and I think they arguably have the better defense too. So 2-2 versus 4-0, very different stories with the records there. I think the Saints could win this game outright, to be honest with you. So give me the Saints plus 5.5. Might be sprinkling the money line too.
Yeah, I think the Saints is absolutely the play you have to make on this game. You're going to give me 5.5 points. And I know you said that this season, it doesn't feel like the Chiefs are 4-0. Don't we say that every year? Every year, the Chiefs just get by through the regular season. They end up winning the division. And you're like, how did they get here? Looks like they never covered games all season long, but they continuously win games. I agree with you. The Saints offense right now is pretty elite. They're pretty dynamic. If they can keep the ball in Alvin Kamara's hands, keep the ball up the middle, and dominate the time of possession, they should do a great job of being able to stay in this game. I'm not sure they win this game, but 5.5 points with the dog here, I think you definitely have to take the Saints. So that's exactly what we're playing. Over to the comments. Jake is here. We all know Jake is a big Philadelphia guy. Big win by your Phillies yesterday. Quite a comeback. There's nothing like MLB postseason right now. It has been absolutely electric. Josh is here as well. Unrelated note, the Giants somehow won yesterday. What a win. What a win. The season's back on. The Super Bowl run's back on. I know Ben was happy with his Vikings as well. The Hawks equals pretenders. I could not agree more, brother. I definitely think that the Hawks are a pretender team. If the Giants are exposing you without half of their offense, which is Malik Neighbors, something is definitely wrong. But also the Hawks may have overlooked the Giants, did not take them seriously. They've killed the Giants in Seattle over the last 10 years, but Big performance. I liked how the Giants did look for sure. Tone, I think you are a Vikings fan or you just bet them yesterday. Ben is a big Vikings guy, so go Skull. And
Skull.
David, we appreciate you tuning in, brother. You would buy it up to 7.5 with the over. So you would do a teaser here. Would you do a teaser or take it with the over? How are you going to be playing that? And then we have Footy Chancellor spewing his absolute bull crap that nobody cares about. Footy, we have MLB playoffs. I know your Pittsburgh Pirates did not make it, but lock in. We still have playoff baseball, and we have NFL action today. Guys, if anybody has any other questions, we will talk for another couple minutes because we only had a couple games to go over today. One more prop that I'm looking at tonight for the Saints-Chiefs game I did want to talk about is going to be Xavier Worthy to get 2 or more touchdowns. I don't exactly like the value on Worthy to score 1. I think it should be a little bit higher than a plus 170, but I do like the value at plus 1,300 on 2. I think that may be worth a shot there at a low play. Worthy's the only receiving receiver that they have right now that can make any kind of difference. Ben, what do you think about that? You think Worthy could find the end zone tonight?
I do, because we know it's not going to be Rashee Rice because he's injured. We know it's not going to be Travis Kelce because he's seeing ghosts out there like vintage Sam Darnold.
They're going to be all over him, though. Like the Saints defense is going to be stopping Travis Kelce. He's the one guy. They don't have a running back tonight. They don't have their receivers tonight. They're going to be all over Travis Kelce.
Yeah, and the Saints defense has also stopped the run well. And also, I don't like betting because like what I was talking about with the Kareem Hunt thing, like who just brought it up? It was Joe brought up Kareem Hunt run total so low because we don't really know. Like Pirine might have a bigger, role in this game. I think it's kind of a shot in the dark if you're going between Hunt, Pirine, that kind of thing. So I love going for the wide receivers, and Xavier Worthy's looked really good. So I would say he's definitely a look. We know it's not going to be Kelce. I mean, it could be.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be. He could find the end zone, but let's say we see a pass interference. We all know Worthy's that elite speedster, right? Let's say he gets behind the defense, which we've seen have happened this year against the Saints team. They get a pass interference in the end zone, something that gets put down at the 1 yard line. Do you think they're going to give the ball to a Justin Steele if they're down, or the Carson Steele, I apologize, down at the 1? Or do you think Kareem Hunt's going to get it at plus 145? There's a huge price difference. I see a couple people in chat that do like Kareem anytime touchdown. Do you think he's going to find the end zone, Kareem? I don't like his yards tonight, but I think his touchdown may be a play.
Yeah, that's true. I think I would like his touchdown more than yards because it feels like just him being the more established back in the NFL, they will hand it off to him if they get those goal line situations. I think Steele, if he has a role tonight, it's going to be more in the first, second down, not late down situations. It's going to be more like first, second, and 10 kind of situations because I don't know if he's quite ready for that role yet. He did have a good game against the Falcons, but I think that Kareem Hunt, bringing him on, is going to be more the third down back, the gold line back, that kind of thing. That's why I like him more touchdown. And I wouldn't hate taking the Steele yards actually, just to that point, because he should get some. He got a lot of action in that Falcons game and looked good. So if they're going to look for anyone tonight, kind of in that secondary role, it could be him over Pirine because Pirine, I think, will be targeted through the air more. I would say he's more receiving back. Steele's going to be more that first, second down back, and then Hunt's going to be that game time situation, like 2-minute drill if they need a touchdown kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I could not agree more. And then you take a look at what Steele has done this year. He has had a little bit of fumbling issues. So I don't know if they're going to trust him fully, especially down in the red zone. That's why I do think that Kareem Hunt's probably the better anytime touchdown play. I think Steele's going to be utilized more in the passing game. But one last question I have about this Chiefs offense for you, Ben. Who's going to be that secondary receiver? Because you take a look at the odds here, and it's crazy for any receiver on the Chiefs to get a touchdown, the odds, besides Worthy. Worthy, his 2 touchdowns just went from plus 1,300 to plus 1,200. So somebody watching just must have put 10 grand on it to move that line a little bit. Just kidding. But you take a look. Juju Smith-Schuster's coming in at plus 500 anytime touchdown. Noah Gray's coming in plus 600. Then you have to scroll down even more. Mecole Hardman, who people probably don't even realize is on the team. He's their punt returner. He's at plus 1,000. Sky Moore is at plus 1,000. So do you think any of these secondary receiving options have a chance to find the end zone? Because the only ones with expensive price are really going to be not even expensive. It's Worthy at plus 165. You have Kelce at plus 135, and then it's all running backs. Do you think any receiving threat could find the end zone at one of those big plus money values?
Weirdly enough, last year I took Justin Watson first touchdown in the play. I can't remember exactly what game. I think it was the AFC Championship, I think. I took first touchdown like plus 2,700. And I just remember I took that because he gets those go routes sometimes, and Mahomes just chucks it to him. And he can get them. He gets some long plays sometimes. He gets those go routes, and he hit one. And that's exactly how he cashed on that first touchdown when we played it last year. It was like plus 2,700. He's only plus 370 tonight. So I don't actually really love the price. But if I do think a secondary receiver is going to score, that's who I think will score. It's just the price is honestly, I would have liked to see it a little bit higher if I was going to play it, so I probably won't. But that's who I do think is kind of sneaky for a touchdown tonight. If he gets on a go route, he might get like a 20, 30-yard touchdown pass tonight. So be ready for Justin Watson. I actually really like taking Watson's longest reception prop because it seems like when he's getting a ball, it's usually one of those long ones.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. I think Watson would be the second option for me. Going over to the comments a little more, David thinks Olave is going to have a good night. I just pulled up Olave's receiving prop. It's at 59.5, so it's super low. If you think Olave is going to have a big night, 59.5 receiving yards is definitely low, and I could definitely see that happening, David. I like it a lot. He's gone, as David said here perfectly, was about to go over this. He's gone over 80 in 3 consecutive weeks. Don't you find it a little weird, though, when the line's like 20 yards under when he consistently keeps going over? Do you think that means that the Saints game script is probably going to be a run-dominant game plan? Because I think the way to beat this Chiefs team is to not let Patrick Mahomes have the ball. So if you can run the clock and keep the time of possession, I think that's why they have it a little bit lower for Olave, but I do think that they will be able to get him the ball, and he should be able to go over that total. Two-tone, we are here every single day at 12, usually from 12 to 12:45. It's a little bit shorter today because we don't have as many games. Footy, stop posting that bull crap about the hurricane and the trampoline.
I just pulled up to Justin Watson. His longest reception prop is actually at 15.5. I love that. His longest, he's gone over that in 3 of 4 games so far. And his longest in the Falcons game is 13. So, 15.5 is a joke I think he gets a 20-yard reception tonight, 20-yard plus. I actually love that prop. Live on the air, that's one of the ones I just came up with.
So he's telling you he put a lot of research into it, guys. Live on the air, just came up with it. But make sure you guys are following Ben at We Beat the Spread on X, on Twitter, whatever the hell you call that stupid app that we all love so much. You know where to find him on there. You know where to find me on there as well. I think that's going to be the end of the questions that we have in the chat. But if anyone has any other questions, you could drop them now before we get off. I'll wait a little bit more. You could also DM myself or Ben at any time. We're always happy to help anybody that we can. Reminder, guys, we are going to be off tomorrow. It is the first day we do not have this show in quite some time, but we will be back full schedule Wednesday throughout the rest of the week and pick up where we always are, 12 to 12:30. Ben, anything else for the people before we get out of here?
Win some bets tonight. I'm gonna hit a parlay, actually.
Let's hit a parlay.
Yeah.
Let's hit a parlay. Let's win. We appreciate every single one of you in the chat. Let's all win tonight. Let's all continue to cash. And you know what I got to say? Let's go Yankees. Let's prove the doubters wrong and get the win today. We will be back on Wednesday. We appreciate every single one of you. Peace.